What's up, guys? It's the Drone here, and it's Send in the Clowns Part 2 on Swarm of the Bee movies this week. And we're going to be reviewing ClownHouse and Stitches. We're going to start with ClownHouse. ClownHouse is technically 1990 when it was released in North America. It's written and directed by Victor Salva. And before I get into the review, I know there's a lot of controversy about this film, strictly for the backstory of this film. This film is basically out of print. For those of you that don't know, it's extremely hard to find. And if you do find it, you're going to pay a pretty penny for the DVD or even the VHS of it. The reason it was pulled off of shelves is on the set of this movie, the writer and director, Victor Salva, molested the young child actor, Nathan Forrest Winters, and actually pled guilty to it. So it's a very controversial film. That being said, I just want to say that I am not, I'm totally against that. I'm not condoning any of that activity. And with this review, I don't want anybody to, freak out about that, like I'm supporting that or anything. I am strictly basing this on this movie as a movie, not with the actions of the director, who is a total fucking scumbag, might I add. This is my review of this movie. So I just wanted to separate that, say that right off the bat before anybody raises an eyebrow. But anyways, the story of this movie starts off with there's these three brothers, and they're at home with their mom or whatever, and they're talking about what they're going to do one night. And she suggests, going to a circus, a local circus in town. And the one brother, the youngest brother, Nathan, who's played by Nathan Forrest Winters, is terrified of clowns. He's absolutely terrified of clowns, and so he doesn't want to go. He's pretty reluctant about going, but they end up convincing him to go. And the basic premise is they get to the circus, and the real life circus performers that are dressed up as the clowns end up getting attacked by, earlier in the movie you hear the sirens going off and everything, and what happens is three guys escape from the local mental institution, and they end up getting attacked, and the guys put on their clown makeup and go and terrorize the kids. And it ends up being a really, really creepy movie. There's not a lot of gore in this movie. There's a lot of startles. There's a lot of just really creepy moments. There's a real creepy moment where Nathan Forrest Winters is at the window and the clowns are all staring in at him. And as this movie has a little bit of sentimental value to me, because as a kid I was absolutely terrified of this movie. To this day I still don't like clowns, I'll be honest. And I would rent this movie from the video store all the time. Don't ask me why, not liking clowns, but that I would rent it. But it just really scared me as a kid. And I just watched it again recently, for this review, and absolutely terrifying. Not what you would expect. I know the budget was even below $1 million, I think. So it's a very low budget film for Victor Salva. For those of you who don't know Victor Salva, he's also the director of the Jeepers Creepers movies. But that being said, like I said, this is a really, really creepy movie. One of my personal favorite horror movies. All the shit aside that's associated with this and this douchebag that directed it, one of my personal favorites. I'm going to give this 2 giant B's up. My other review, guys, is Stitches from 2012. It's written by David O'Brien and Connor McMahon. It's also directed by Connor McMahon. And this is a Irish clown horror film. And it's a pretty good film. It's like I said, it came out in 2012. It basically tells the story of this clown that is called to entertain at this kid's birthday party, and he's got a bunch of his friends over or whatever, and he gets over to the birthday party and he's doing the best he can. He's like trying to entertain the kids, and he's doing balloon animals and all kinds of stuff like that, that a clown would at a birthday party. And the kids are just treating him like shit. And they're throwing stuff at him and they're flipping him off. And, these kids are really young at the time. And the one kid ends up ends up tying the clown's shoes together. And the mom was doing the dishes earlier in the day or whatever and had left a knife up in the dishwasher, and you can imagine what happens. The clown ends up getting killed, and the whole premise of the story is fast forward 6 years later, and the clown has come back to life, and this kid is having another birthday party, but now he's a teenager with these his friends and stuff, and they end up getting picked off and everything, and one by one, and this turns into kind of a slasher, towards the end, but it's a real, for a while, it's a real psychological horror film. This is a very unique film in the clown subgenre. This is not just stereotypical crappy clown movie, It's pretty good. There's a weird sequence with eggs, but you got to watch that. I'm not going to ruin that whole thing for you because that ties into the ending, and I don't spoil here. But overall, like I said, good movie, good makeup, good story. Connor McMahon did a good job, and I'm going to give it 1B up. Which brings me to next week. Next week, guys, as you know, I've been reviewing mainly horror on the show. Next week, I'm going to review a couple of sci-fi movies. This is going to be interesting. One of them is from 1985, and it's called Morons from Outer Space. And the other one is from way back in 1960 called The Angry Red Planet. So be on the lookout for that. And remember, guys, you like videos like this, you know what to do. Hit that bell icon, hit like, hit subscribe. Until then, drone out.